English, I can understand Afrikaans, brought up in South Africa. And yeah, just a bit about my life. You know, I started drugs at the age of 19. And as a person before 19, I despised drugs. My brother used to smoke a lot of dope, and I saw how much trouble he got into with my folks, and I decided not to touch. So if a guy came along and he took dope, and he stood in my company, I would actually chase him away, because I didn't want to be considered as a drug user or a drug addict. But unfortunately, when I turned 19, I started using. I came out the army, and I was mixing with a whole lot of guys that were doing it, and I ended up using. And the sad part of all that is that for 27 years, I used drugs. I didn't only just use, I actually destroyed many young lives by being a conduit to be used by the drug merchants. I was selling drugs, I got involved with prostitutes to sell drugs to them, I got involved with crack houses, people went and used drugs. So I saw a lot of bad things happen through the choices that I made. And at that time, I didn't think it was such a big deal. It was most likely made out to us in the park. You're standing in the club, the main hope was all the nice women come to you because hey, they want this and they want that, and you're always asking little favors. So it seemed to be I was doing the right thing. But I can assure you, as I stand here today, at the age of 66, I know that I'm wasting 30 years of my life. I have no backup financial plan. I have 2 sons who don't even talk to me. And it is not, excuse me, it's not a nice thing when your child walks away from you because of your choices. And I was there like you are, denying that I would ever go to drugs, or alcohol, or cigarettes. One thing just a little small thing is, I've never touched a cigarette in my life. I think I did it once, and I never did it again. But I did everything else, which was 10 times worse. I don't advocate smoking, I don't advocate alcohol, because it's all a gateway to losing yourself. And some of the things that I had to go through while I was in this drug world and before I got to where I am today, was that drugs change the way we think. There's a chemistry, there's a chemical reaction in your brain that will make you behave differently. You start losing feelings for your family. It starts there first. It starts with your family because your family cares for you. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. They don't want to see you go down a bad road. But we always know better when we are at the ages you are at right now. I was the slim cook. I had always thought he knew more than my mother and my father and my brothers. So don't allow that, because really there is a chemical reaction. That is the one danger. The second danger is that they become health complications. I had a triple heart bypass. I've always played sport. I've been a footballer for many years. I've boxed. I've reached the top heights in all my sports I did. But when I got involved badly with the drugs, especially in the later part of my life, I've had a triple heart bypass because my veins collapsed. I almost died. I was on the soccer field and I almost died. Don't allow yourself to take drugs because there are health complications in it. The third, the infections. I never injected myself in anything, but as you know, if you use a needle that somebody else has used, you can get infections through that. We all heard of HIV, and there's a very real possibility. If you are using the same needle as somebody else to use drugs, you could die and you could pick up that infection. The fourth point is financial problems. Ons soek altyd vir geld. Every minute of the day, I was like in prison when I was an addict. When I was an addict, my drug determined what I did when I woke up, what time I woke up, and where I was going. I had no control over those things, or at least I thought so. But you do believe that when you are taking drugs on a continuous basis, that is your life. When you wake up, the first thing you think of is, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to get my next hit from? En as jy nie geld het nie, wat kan jy doen? Sonder geld kan ons niks doen. Without money, we sit with big problems. And today I know how I have to work so much harder at 66 because I never planned for my future and for my old age. Because I wasted and squandered every single cent I ever got on drugs. I've spent more money than a lot of millionaires have actually earned in their lives. Because it wasn't always my money. It belonged to Satan. It belonged to the world that brings you down. Satan gives you a candy-coated vision of every drug or every abuse that you do. You don't see the abuse of what you do, because there's always an excuse for why it's happening. But once that candy is taken off, and there's only one way